Hey there YouTube, this is Punk Rock Matt with another action figure review. Today, we're going to be taking a look at Neca's Ash from Ash vs. Evil Dead. Got this guy just the other day, bought him from Neca's eBay store for $21.99. There's like $7 shipping or something along those lines, so about 30 bucks really. Alright, let's take a quick look at his height, shall we? He is nearly 7 inches, like just over 6.5. And about like 17 centimeters or so. Here he is next to Star Wars Black Series Kylo Ren, Math-X Batman from the Dawn of Justice line, and Marvel Legends Daredevil. He's a little bit taller than these guys, but not so much so that he looks funny standing next to any of them, in my opinion. Alright, let's check out this articulation. If you've seen my other reviews, you probably already know I'm kind of an articulation junkie. And while he doesn't move as much as some of my other figures, he sports some pretty good movement. His head is on a ball joint, and the collar doesn't get in the way because it's a rubbery material. In fact, this whole part of his shirt is rubbery, so is the crotch. And then he is on a socket and hinge on the shoulders. Now, maybe mine are just really stiff, but they don't move up that much. That's about as much as I can get out of those. But they do the job. Then there's a double joint at the elbow, which they hide pretty darn well. Looks good from both angles. And then there's some swivel on both parts of that, which is nice. Then this wrist is on, I think, like a socket and hinge. I really like it because if his wrist was just like straight on like that, he really couldn't pose his shotgun very well. Being able to angle it down, he can really aim it. Gives him a very, realistic look. On this one, it is just a swivel, and the chainsaw is removable. And then he might have some kind of, I feel like an ab crunch in here, but I haven't really gotten it to move. There is some waist movement. Feels like that could be a ball joint. That one's a little stiff, though. These hips are really well done. They're on a socket and hinge, and then there's also a thigh cut hidden in there. And they work really quite well. A lot more movement out of that part of him than I thought there would be. I'm doing the splits, baby. And then his knee articulation is well hidden. You can see it from the back, but from the front, I mean, that looks great. It is a single joint. And then his ankles, I'm not sure if they're on a socket and hinge or a ball joint, but you get some good pivot out of there, a little bit of back and forth. Definitely does the trick when you're trying to make him stand up, which, of course, I'm very happy about. And he stands pretty well on his own. He doesn't come with a stand, but like I said, I mean, he's doing it on his own, so hey. I'd say one of the best things about his articulation is that it's actually really well hidden, which is not something I always care that much about, but when it's done really well, I have to applaud it. Alright, let's check out his package. Not that one, right there. The box he came in. Star Wars Original Series, Ash vs. Evil Dead, Ash Williams, Hero. You can see it's kind of a window box, got a couple of accessories there we'll go over later. Made by Neca. Tells you a bit about the series right there. I'm not going to read that, but if you want to read it yourself, you can pause it and check it out. Shows some posing options, also available, Elagos and Ash Stockboy version. Good stuff. It is resealable, which I'm happy about. The only thing I wish is that this plastic shell inside here came with a layer that kind of went over the top of it, and instead of tape and stuff like that, because if I have to put him away which I don't plan to do anytime soon, but if I have to, I usually find those are a lot easier to deal with instead of kind of working the figure back into little divots and stuff like that. As far as accessories go, he's already sporting a couple of them. He's got his trusty boomstick, which is well painted and well sculpted, good proportion wise. He holds it well. Can go into that holster on his back. And his trusty chainsaw. Love this thing. If you're making an Ash figure, the chainsaw hand is a must. Like, it's everything to me. Also got his Nintendo Power Glove hand that Pablo made for him. Very cool looking. Does have some articulation. Right there at the wrist, it can move around a bit, but then there's a swivel right there. And then you just pop off that part of the arm, which I will actually demonstrate. Off cam, a little easier to do. Sorry for the delay. There we go. And then he does come with an alternate head, looking all pissed off. You damn Deadites! I would change out the head, but I don't really feel like fiddling around with that right now, so there. You can picture it. Doesn't that work well? And then he also has another little piece in the box here. I'm not going to remove, but you can see it. That little widget right there. What you do with that is you remove the chainsaw from here and then plug that in, I believe. Maybe you do it on here. You unplug this one and then plug the chainsaw in over top of it, like he has later on in the series, which is pretty cool. Although I'm not going to fuck with that. I like the classic look better. Also, be advised if you're going to try to take off the chainsaw, this little handle part right here is kind of fragile. So, use care, use caution. Don't break your figure. So as it goes, I am just thrilled with this figure. I have been a fan of Evil Dead and Army of Darkness since I was a little kid, and I've really always wanted a posable, really good-looking Ash Williams figure, like just for a super, super long time. In fact, if you've been collecting figures for a long time, you remember a magazine called Toy Fair. The first Toy Fair I ever bought actually came with a tutorial on how to use a Dino Hunter Jack figure and a Quicksilver figure from the early Marvel line, and use Super Sculpey and all this to turn him into an Ash figure. And I tried it. That was my first custom figure ever. It was really bad. And then Todd McFarlane, his movie Maniacs line, came out with one which was pretty much a statue. I still got it, but it was cool, but it wasn't anything like this. To me, this is the best Ash figure out there. Maybe there's some Hot Toys versions that are super sweet. I don't know. I don't have that kind of money, unfortunately. But this is just a great, great figure. And I even think this one, even though I don't own the other one, I think this one's even nicer than the Neca, Ultimate Ash from Evil Dead 2. That one's a cool figure, but this one's even better. And if you're an Ash fan, this is a must-get, in my opinion. Also, if you haven't been watching Ash vs. Evil Dead, it is fantastic. Really one of my very favorite shows. So if you've been thinking about getting this figure, he's not even that expensive, so I would definitely get him. And there is the stock boy version I mentioned earlier. That just comes with more hands and alternate heads to use on this one too. And I would definitely like to get him. I might not anytime real soon because I have a lot of stuff coming out over the next couple months, so I can't really afford it right now, but something to think about in the future for sure. And you just can't beat that head sculpt. That is dead on Bruce Campbell. He has a little chin scar and everything, graying at the temples, fantastic fucking paintwork and sculpt. really all around. I mean, he's just a great, great looking figure. Super fucking happy with him. So if you have been thinking about this guy, like I said, hopefully I helped you make up your mind. He's definitely something I would recommend, especially if you're a fan of Evil Dead, Army of Darkness, Ash vs. Evil Dead, all that jazz. So anyway, thank you for watching. I very much appreciate it. And you have yourself a nice night. Or day. I don't know when you're watching. Later, YouTube.